turns into stone. So somebody please pass the megaphone.
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's conversation, episode 1340. I think it's 49. My name is Sean Murphy. I'll be your host. I am a five-time #1 best-selling author, international speaker, and trainer. I've stood on stage in 30 plus countries, been translated into over 40 different languages. And my question to you today is, do you understand that you have to be rich? Bob Proctor wrote a book, You Were Born Rich. Wallace D. Waddell says you have to be rich. If there is talent, if there are resources, listen very carefully. If there are resources that you have available to you, that the only reason you don't have access to them is because you are poor, listen, this is going to be a tough conversation. So if Friday is not your day to get fired up, if you're getting prepared for the week, W-E-A-K-N, do not stay on this call. I'm just telling you, if you're ready for the weekend, meaning week, you lose all of your momentum, you lose all of your strength, you lose all of your push, and you got to start over on Monday. That is a W-E-A-K, a weekend. Good morning, Paul. Hey, how are you, Paul? Reach out to Christina if you can, and she'll give you the code for the VIP session. Would love to have you in there, Paul. So here's the thing, leverage. If you're not rich, you don't have it. Listen, now here's the thing. Most of you are kind of getting mad at me right now. You're kind of putting on a little bit of a sweat. Your fists are balling up. You got a knot going in your stomach. What it's always not about money. I didn't say it was about money. See, when you hear the word rich, that's where your mind goes. It goes to money. And listen, poverty is taught. Oh, this is going to be a tough call. I promise you, this is going to be a tough call. It won't be tough if you stay to the end. It won't be tough if I can cross you over the bridge. See, the challenge is you get halfway over the bridge and then you turn around and go back to what you go back to the same, go back to what you used to have, go back to who you were, who you were told you were to be. We were listening to a conversation this morning and it was about parenting. And the reason that I wanted everybody to understand it, if you do not have kids, you need to understand parenting. Not so that you can have kids. I'm not telling you to have kids. I'm telling it so that you can understand the physiology, the psychology, the psychographic of a parent. There is nothing more important to a parent who's a good parent than protecting their children. And they don't really care about a comp plan. They don't really care about your product. They don't really care about the ingredient. They're wondering, is it safe? How can I use it? Can I do it? And what will it do to ensure my legacy for my kids? So here's the thing. You are fired up, Paul. I love you, brother. So understand that leverage is either against you or for you. There is no in between, because you know what's in between? Listen carefully. Oh, this is so good. Thank you, the heavens. Thank you, God, for downloading this into my brain. You know what? If you don't have leverage in the world, you are being leveraged against. Because if not, somebody want to tell me what's happening? If not, if there's no leverage in either direction, what do you have? If there's no leverage in either direction, what do you have? You have lukewarm, you got room temperature milk. You have what everybody's searching for, balance. And no wonder everybody wants to get out of their balance zone, their comfort zone. But the challenge is the second they go into the leverage mode, the second they step into leverage, they feel it's being used against them because you're not rich enough to use it for you. Listen, I'm talking about just the 5 primary areas of your life. Your body. If you're overweight, if you drink, if you smoke, you have no leverage over your body. You have an addiction. If you watch porn, if you scroll Instagram for 72 hours, if you can't put your phone down an hour before bed, you have an addiction. You have no leverage over your body. You have no leverage over the pharmacy in your mind. Tell me, are those things healthy? Do you sleep well? Do you eat well? Do you have a great relationship? Those things are part of your body. So there's just body. Let's go to mind. How much time, what is the leverage your mind has over you? What is the leverage your subconscious has over you? Just to give you a physical representation, it was taught to me that if you were to take the largest arena, could be soccer, right? Football, my international family. It could be a football stadium here, right? NFL. Those are usually big stadiums. So if you were to take the Dallas AT&T Stadium, I think that's who still promotes that. and you were to take this huge stadium capable of seating 80,000 people. Their stadiums in Mexico can seat 120,000 crazy soccer fans, football fans. If you were to take that entire stadium and then you were to take a golf ball, a ping pong ball, and set it at the center of the stadium on the 50-yard line or at the kickoff, at the face-off circle. The golf ball, the ping pong ball is your subconscious mind, is your conscious mind, is your conscious mind. The arena is your subconscious mind. Now you wonder why, now you understand fully why you get swallowed up. Now you understand fully, graciously building, how are you? Now you understand why you get swallowed up by your thoughts. Because you have this massive subconscious and you have this tiny little consciousness. This is why in 2023, I'm creating a community called Dangerous Consciousness. Becoming dangerously conscious in your world of what is leveraged against you and how you can give more leverage back to you. And here's the thing, once you learn how to have leverage over certain things in your life, you can now teach it. The reason 98% of the people fail, and the reason 98 percenters hang out with other 98 percenters, because nobody's pushing anybody. Nobody's challenging anybody. Everybody gets to bitch and moan and complain about everything around them. They get to complain and bitch about the 2 percenters, the 3 percenters, and then nobody ever moves their ass. So I'm going to teach you about leverage. Leverage is not in your hands because it was not taught to you. You were taught that money's bad. You were taught that people who are rich take advantage of other people. Oh, they do. It's because they're easily taken advantage of. Listen, this is a real life conversation. The reason that you learn to smoke is probably because somebody in your family smoked. The reason you learn to drink is probably because somebody learned to drink. Now, those genes get passed on. Those addictions get passed on. Everybody says they want more for their family. Everybody says they want to leave a legacy. Are you, if your traits got passed on to your parents, what do you think the chances are your traits are going to get passed on to your kids? You got to ask yourself a tough question. Is this, if my kids are doing what I am at my age, am I happy? I told you this is going to be a tough conversation. But what I do is I teach you how to break that. I had a gentleman, a Rhodes Scholar, I had a conversation with yesterday. Absolutely got himself wrapped around the axle of material consciousness. Not that he was focused on things, but his mind wouldn't let him focus on the emotional consciousness that needs to happen in order for you to exceed, in order for you to excel, in order for you to give more. Everybody drop a G in the chat if you want to give more. And if you don't drop it, it's because you didn't hear me or you're lying. Everybody wants to give. See, the challenge is that growth and contribution can't happen until you hit the first four areas of the human needs, not Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, what everybody needs. What I'm talking about is that the challenge most people have is if you're in pain right now, you're only operating on two. You're only focusing on 2 of the 4 human needs. Here's the human needs that would take the pain away from you. Here's the human needs that would take the pain instantly out of your life. Uncertainty, if you were able to live in uncertainty and you were able to live in love and connection. Uncertainty is variety. Most of you can't deal with variety. You think when a bill comes due, that's variety. That's uncertainty. When you have no money for something and you've got to become creative, that's uncertainty. No, that's called variety. And too many of you are operating out of significance and certainty. COVID has put us in such a pain of that we need to be significant. We need to go build our brand. We need to go take care of us, and people need to follow us, and people need to like our stuff. Nobody's got to like your stuff. You don't get paid for people liking your stuff. You want to understand leadership? That's what this month is about. That's what this whole conversation is about. You want to understand leadership? Start leading yourself. Start getting yourself healthier. Start waking up at if you've ever listened to the 5 a.m. club, start getting up a half hour earlier. Start doing your daily intentions. How many of you did your daily intentions today? I can tell you this, if you did your daily intentions today and you've done it for the last week and you'll do it for the next forever, I can tell you, you won't recognize your life in 12 months. You just won't. And the challenge is here's the challenge. If you were going on a dream, if you were going on a path, if you were going to leverage time and space and the universal source, if you're going to leverage your connection with God, this is the thing that drives me crazy. When people say, I am totally faithful. Really? Really? Then why are you living the way you're living? Why aren't you living as the example of Christ? Not the ones he had to preach to. Not the ones he had to go save. Why are you still, people tell me all the time, listen, I'm going to get flack for this. People tell me all the time, I'm saved. For what? What are you being saved for? Your future heaven? I get it. We all have mansions in heaven being built for us. But you know what? God also said, even the least of you can do this and more. You can go heal people. You want to go create amazing amount of wealth? Go heal people. You have the power to heal people. I'm not talking about slapping your hand into their forehead and going, you're healed. You have the ability to heal a relationship. You know how many of you have already healed relationships simply by listening to a friend? Do you know how many of you have healed other moms? Moms have healed other moms by letting them not want to throw their kid out the window? Oh, well, that doesn't happen. Well, then you're nuts. You're just absolutely insane. So all of this conversation, all of this stuff. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Already get up at 3:45. Congratulations. Are you writing your intentions on a daily basis? Are you teaching this to your kids? Or are you letting school teach them how to survive? What are the fundamental skills? Do your kids know how to change a tire? I don't care. Listen, this is truly leverage. A 10-year-old can change a tire on a car. My dad had me changing tires on big tractors at 8 years old. Now, he watched me. But I was right there. I learned when you put a cinder block the wrong way that it collapses and crushes, and now you got to work twice as hard to raise the car. The world is a dangerous place unless you have leverage. Your family, listen, your family is a dangerous place unless you have leverage. What are you teaching your kids today? What are you teaching them? What habitual actions are happening? Becoming self-full means you're self-directed. The challenge is most people couldn't direct themselves out of their driveway. I know this sounds tough. I want you to awaken the consciousness of you that hears all of this. And the only reason it's tough is because you know it's true. Your level of wealth right now was taught to you. And when you become self-educated, you'll change things in your life. When you truly understand how challenging it is inside of a family to raise children, to raise an environment. If you hang around people who swear a lot, you'll swear a lot. It's okay. It's what we do. If you hang around people who bash women, hey, it's what we do. It's our culture. It's our thing, man. Do people say thing, man? I don't think they say that anymore. If you hang around people who abuse animals, it's okay. It's because you've become numb to it. If you hang around people who talk about comfort zones, you'll hang out in comfort zones. There's no science to this. This is why aliens lock their doors and shoot right by right by America and right by the world, our world. Because we think, oh, I got to get out of my comfort zone. Are you in your comfort zone? Shouldn't we get out of our comfort zone? It's not a comfort zone. Why the hell would you ever leave a comfort zone? You would never leave a comfort zone. Stop calling it a comfort zone. Pull your head out of the sand. 1% of the population think, 2% think they think. The other 97% would rather die than think. When you start thinking, you become a target. When you start thinking, you become somebody people want to put down. When you start thinking, people say you've lost your mind. This conversation powered by ketones for all of your brain training and brain expanding. You need to put your brain on ketones. It's time to upgrade your hardware. I'm talking to your software. The reason that these decisions can't go in, the reason these decisions can't stay with you, the reason that we become habitual actors of our own past is because we haven't rewired our brain. We haven't upgraded our hardware. You may eat good food sometimes. You may eat organic. I grew up on organic. I grew up on a farm. We didn't have an aisle in the grocery store called organic. What can you do to start taking care of yourself? What can you do to start to feed this thing that this thing that you live in, this temporary housing that you live in? Here's the challenge. Most people are afraid of death because they haven't set up their life in a way that death is even better. If you think dying is going to be the answer, then why suffer? So, here's my question for you today. Are you ready to do what you need to do? Are you ready to draw a line in the sand? Are you ready to detox yourself so that you can finally have leverage? You can finally become rich. The only reason that there's no space for rich in your life is because of all of the toxic that's in your life. All of the disbelief that's in your life. You are entitled to riches. There is enough resources on this planet to build everybody in the world a mansion. Everybody in the world a mansion without taking anything away from the rich who already have 90% of the money. Without taking it away from them, there's enough for all of us. There's enough for the rest of us to build mansions right now. There's enough money out there for all of us to become wildly wealthy beyond our wildest dreams and pass on legacies to our children. The only thing that's stopping you is your thoughts. The only thing that's stopping you is the way your brain operates. The only thing that's stopping you is the way you were taught poverty. Taught poverty in your body, taught poverty in your mind, taught poverty in your relationships, taught poverty in your society, and taught poverty in your family. And sixth one is faith for me. What you believe right now is taught to you, either externally programmed on you or you adapting somebody else's belief for your own. When kids are raised Catholic and they want to go be Protestants or Jewish or Hindu or Buddha, it's because they got influenced by somebody. There's no way in hell they'd ever learn about Buddhism if they're in a Catholic family. Right? Unless they get old enough and they move on their own. They became a wild child. You learn that poverty, you learn that riches is going to a job and doing things and changing and coming home and being grumpy and drinking a beer and sitting down on the couch. And every Friday, my dad would stick his hand in his pocket and all of a sudden things would, and the quicker he got drunk, the sooner I got beat up. That's what you learned. That's how you think life is. It's time to change that if you want. Now, I'm not here to change anything. I can't change a damn thing in your world. I can only ask you, are you ready? And here's the biggest challenge. When you say I'm ready, you have to decide, are you ready for the love or are you ready for the pain? You have to decide, are you ready for the love or are you ready for the pain? Because love sometimes is painful. I watched a video the other day of Mason driving off his very first time driving to high school. The pain I had looking out through the levers, through the blinds in my office was immense. Watching him drive off his first time from the ranch yard to college was immense. But that's love. That's love. Things are changing. In order for you to have more love, things have to change, because are you satisfied with the love you have in your life right now? Because if you are, you're in balance. Until you get leverage, you're either going to be leveraged against or you're going to learn how to leverage. And here's the challenge. When you learn how to put leverage back into your hands, when you learn how to take leverage and put it into control, when you learn how to control leverage, you have to promise to use it for good. If not, you will be wiped out. You will be forced to start over and over and over and over and over and over until the lesson is learned that you are given a gift of leverage. When you learn that leverage is a gift, you get to give, you get to teach. The challenge now is that once you have it, you have to teach it. You have to teach it. In order for you to maintain your leverage, you have to teach it. Because the second you keep it to yourself, you're screwed. It's coming for you. It's coming for you. I promise you. So if you want to learn more, if you want to be mentored, if you want to be coached, I have coaching, I have training. I would encourage you right now, the best way, one of the qualifications to be personally mentored by me is to go through my 12-week program so you have an understanding of how far I can drag you across the finish line, how much I can put back into your life, how much you are not even focusing on your true potential, because the masses don't want you to find your true potential. Your upline doesn't even want you to find your true potential. You know why? Because you will outdo them. Oh, no, it's network marketing. If I do more, then they get more. Yeah, I get it, but ego is an amazing thing, especially if they're guys. Sorry, guys. If all of a sudden somebody does wildly better than you, it is so hard for a guy to sit there and go, nice job, Skippy. Way to go, Sally. That's incredible. How can I best serve you? Because the thing is, now they can't serve you. You've excelled beyond them. That's the challenge. Every time you expand your horizons, every time you expand your control, every time you expand your leverage, people around you don't know how to serve you or support you. So then what do? They shoot you down. And you're okay with that. You're okay with that. How do I know you're okay with that? Because you've had highs and then you've gone back to lows. You've had highs and then you've gone back to lows. You've allowed the lows. No, I didn't want the lows. You had to, because you allowed the high. You allowed the lows. You allowed the highs. So why the hell would you ever allow a low? Because you allowed it. You gave it permission. This is why I teach mental toughness. This is why I teach addiction to approval. This is why I teach neuroencoding. This is why I'm a brain trained specialist. This is why I teach self-talk. This is why I teach hypnotherapy. All of the things necessary that if you ever got into my disciplines of all of those areas of mental toughness, self-talk, neuroencoding, brain training, something else. If you ever got into those 5 areas, you wouldn't recognize your life in 12 months. You literally wouldn't. Your family would be set for life and your kids would have access to the entire world. If there's a place on the planet that you'd want to go, what's the only thing? Listen, this is one's going to hurt. What's the only thing keeping you from going on a trip this weekend? Money. And so money's evil. I can't go on a trip. Money's evil. No, you suck at making money. Your energy won't let you. Your mind won't let you. Your freedom of your expression isn't allowed. The only thing keeping you from a trip going on this weekend is money. And if money is the problem, then it's critical that you understand the science of getting rich. I have a course on that. If you want to have access to that course right now, I think, was it? No, it was a secret sauce that I made available. If you would like the access to the Science of Getting Rich course, it's a 16 module course, 16-hour course with questions you've never been asked before. In the Science of Getting Rich. Why? Because I paid $1,000 for the program 20 years ago with Bob Proctor, personally mentored by Bob Proctor on the Science of Getting Rich 20 years ago. If you want access to that, reach out to me and I'll get you a coupon. It's a $1,000 program. I'll get you a coupon so you can have it for $200 today. It's worth something. It's worth more than that. But for anybody who shows up today, I'm going to be constantly offering programs for you that if you reach out to me, I'll give you I'll create a special coupon for you so that it's not the $1,500 or $2,000 program that it is. I'll get it to you for $200. Now, what's $200? Well, if I just changed your mind, if I just challenged your experience, if I just challenged your greatness, if I just challenged your mind in a way that's never been challenged, could you imagine what 16 hours of this conversation would do for you? Not to you, would do for you. So you got to reach out to me. I can't see any texts or chats anywhere. That's not my focus right now. So you got to reach out to me personally, say, I want the program. I'll give you the code, and the code's available for 24 hours. Why would I do that? Because A, I can. B, I want to find people who are ready now. I want to find people who wanted to, who, if you show up, you should get a reward. You've gave me a half hour of your time. I can never give you that back. But what I can do is make sure that you get 10 times the value of anything you ever spend with me, guaranteed. So if you spend $200 in the next 12 months, if it doesn't give you $2,000 back, 1,000% return, $2,000 back, you reach out to me and I'll give you $200 back. I don't need your money. I want your money. I don't need your money. I want your money because it means I'm providing value. It means I'm selling you something. I'm a professional. So leverage. If you don't have it, you will be poor. Has nothing to do with money. So I got to ask you, are you ready to be rich? Because Bob Proctor said it best. You were born rich. I am your leverage training misfit. And Paul, again, if you get the code from, or reach out to me and get the code for the VIP, that will get you access to the weekend conversations that we have. I know you're doing your event on Sunday. But I'm for those of you in the public arena, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, this is our last conversation for the week. I go privately on the weekends and I do personal trainings inside of the community. My private mentorship is 10 grand a month. If you want that, you can have access to that as well, which means you'll get to 100K a month. 1,000% return on all that I do. So anyways, I love you tons. I appreciate you so very much. I am your head brain scrambling, brain training, leverage unlocking misfit. I'll see y'all where? I'll see you at the next event. Love you tons. And if anybody has would like to ask some questions on gratitude on Instagram, there's Daniela Jukic1. She is the queen of gratitude, and you can learn more about her at gratitudewithdanny, DANI.com, gratitudewithdanny.com. Love you tons. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Till then, bye for now. All righty, YouTube, I love you tons. I appreciate you, love you tons. I'm going to go have a conversation with my mastermind. If you want to learn about and join the personal undevelopment revolution, go to personalundevelopment.com, undevelopment.com, and you can get signed up, $50 a month, and you can have access to this on a daily basis, plus all the recordings. All right, everybody. I love you tons. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next event. Till then.